gift SIM card. It's on full blown unlimited. I pay £35 a month to make sure that my internet is on. Just give 2 seconds. I need to. I'm on mint tea at the moment. So anyway, as I was saying, that I have had this letter sent from my doctors today. I've already had a copy of this letter, so I've already read it. The physio sent it to me. So basically, Dean was here but didn't attend, and I'm really struggling with Dean because he doesn't understand. Like right now, in the middle of my back is completely burning right now, and I have to sort of ouch it, but then my shoulder is out. So basically, there's a guy called Erlos and there was a guy called Danlos, that's their surnames, who did a lot of research about the collagen in people's bodies and how collagen works. So basically, on this letter, because it is now officially on the NHS system, and what I was basically saying is from the moment that we're born, we become a national insurance number, and that national insurance number becomes our imprinted identity, and that holds all of the things on our paperwork. So whether it be, everything has to have your national insurance number basically. So literally this one here is to do with, and this is so important now because this is the difference between how the courts in relation to Aaron and Faith treated such a mother and criminalising and turning me into somebody who would make up such a condition that causes such injury in children and bruising, all because I made one jovial comment and went, "No bruises, not yet," and scruffed my head. And a police officer stood at the side, went, "Well, mother's just threatened to harm the child." And then I find myself in this room, which would have been 8 years last night, with two police officers and two social workers saying, "And if you say anything, you will not even be able to say bye to your kids." And I'm like, right, I'm ringing my solicitor, and he takes my phone and he's like, "No, you're not." It's like, "Yes, I am." So at the end of the day, I've always been telling the truth. So the Lisa Bartles of the world that want to carry on with all of this trolling on me, you nearly sabotaged this for my boys and you didn't, luckily, because it's stuff like what you're doing out there causes for me to then into a meeting and find the police in there, because then they've got your website stuff and they're trying to bring it forward. Now luckily the police got kicked out and we got dropped down from child protection yet again, and back on children in need, but in multi-agency will now be issued this letter, which is when I very first, on the 7th of January, when 2019, 16, sorry, when I first ever arrived in Portsmouth, and I said, "I'm carrying a little baby in my belly. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. This is what I've just been through. I've literally just come from, like, me and Dean had literally, as you would have known, we left Bristol after Dean was released from the prison and the court case was closed, and we came down, we sat in London at one of his friends, and we sat there and said, what do we do? Do we leave and go to France? Everybody was saying, run, 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 run. You'll never keep the kids, run. And I said, no, I can't, because I've still got Aaron and Faith here, and Liam and Daniel here. And if I ever run, then I'm never going to be able to come back to the UK with the two boys, which means I can't even fight for Aaron and Faith. And people are okay about that. People wanted me to leave Liam and Daniel and Aaron and Faith. Warning! Warning by the power of the Lord, mate. That's how he speaks to me. Yeah, warning. 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 Amen to that. Amen to that. Seriously, this is how me and the Lord communicate. Call me crazy. But as I've just said that, and the alarm goes off, that just says to me that there are a lot of people that are wanting me to just focus on Elijah and Shiloh and forget about Liam and Daniel and Aaron and Faith. And I remember I used to watch Charmed at one point in my life, and there was a part on it where they had taken away her baby and her husband, and they were trying to distract her with the single life and trying to forget. But there was something in her, a mother instinct, that kept coming back to her saying, I'm sure there's a baby. She was walking into a room that used to be her baby's room, and she was feeling this presence like it wasn't quite right. You can't take that away from a mother. Not a lot of people are strong. Not a lot of people can come out and just say that, you know, and talk about how raw and how horrible things might seem and feel. And I made it very clear last night that I'm not a child abuser, and what Aaron and Faith and Elijah and Shiloh and Liam and Daniel, if you were going to call me a criminal, it would be that since Faith, more to the point, I have known that there is a 50-50 chance of me conceiving a child and carrying this condition on. Just like all of you that are on lockdown right now who are dealing with this masks. This is how being on social feels, by the way. So welcome to having your life truly invaded and being assessed and assassinated. Wait for the next stage, mate, when they're coming in, knocking on your door, testing in you. It's very invasive. So let me just read this just to bring this back to Kelly's telling the truth. It was lovely to meet Shiloh, Elijah and Mum today in our physio triage clinic. Mum explained that she was diagnosed with hypermobility EDS and is worried that the boys do too. Mum explained that Shiloh experienced knee pain when he's on his scooter or walking, and he gets very fatigued after activities, bruises easily, does have stretchy, silky looking skin, and has issues with his bowels daily. I have been trying to tell the social workers, the doctor, everybody around us, both of the boys. Now, this is Shiloh because we've had appointments all over the place. Come on, this is how bad the system is, mate. I was on a managed move 2 months ago, and housing benefit are still paying for my old place. And we've already sent them messages to say, can you sort this out? And we've done things to sort all of this out. So now Kelly Cottam is now 2 months in 2 months in arrears, and now about to, on the 18th, is going to go 3 months into arrears on her property. Yeah, I haven't done anything wrong. The housing has messaged me again today. We've been speaking again today. I send him over everything. We have proof and evidence. But if he disappears and goes, there's nothing I can do. I'll just be thrown out of this property of rent arrears. And I unless I have a paper trail, which I do, I keep my paper trail, and I go to a court. Now this is different. Now I'm in an interim property. Now I'm on a permanent tenancy, where when I was in that situation with what they did to me with Aaron and Faith, I was on what was called a temporary tenancy. So I had no leg to stand on. They could pull it from under my feet. Here, I have a leg to stand on to fight this. But then blame the mother for being on housing benefit. But then blame the services for saying that Dean couldn't work and Mum couldn't work, and we had to go through, and do what we do and sit on government benefits. They're the ones that have forced this. They're the ones that have done this. So here we go. So based on, I'm not a professional. So anything that I say in relation to my condition or my boys or my management or the way that I like things, or just because I do things differently, or maybe because I might not look over my right shoulder properly or my left shoulder, maybe I raise my voice more and have to assert through with my voice because I can't move my physical body fast enough in dangerous situations, so I have to be a little bit louder. All of these things. However, I can't make these decisions because I'm not a specialist, I'm not a physio, I'm not a social worker, I'm not a health visitor, I'm not a GP. Clinical notes. So we go down the bottom to clinical notes. Shiloh has extra flexible joints throughout his body and a Beighton score of 9/9. The Beighton score is basically the score that they do to determine the difference between a normal body and a what would be called either into hypermobility or into the EDS. They're two very different things, just like Asperger's and autism is two very different things, whether they want to put it in one spectrum and whether they just want to put us all under hypermobility. Two very different things. He has a tibia bowing with an expected range 5 centimeters between melodon and malleolum. Shiloh is able to kick a ball with his right leg and jump in good pulses, but struggles to hop and needs with his hand held. He was able to squat for the toy, good control, and standing without needing to use his hands, and he could stand from the floor via left knee kneeling. Today we observed Shiloh climbing on objects and pulling himself up using his arms. And this is all good things, by the way, because they say they're watching the difference between all of us. So they're saying that they've had a massive big good range to be able to see how the, and Elijah was in the meeting, so Elijah was seen as well. Sarah Ashby, the podiatrist, was running a clinic here today, so I asked her to have a look at Shiloh's feet as they are pronated flat, which could be contributing to his leg pain. Sarah provided Shiloh with a pair of inner soles and advised to doubling them up as he's in and out, which is we're doing. So in advice, all they can say is like pacing activities, allowing Shiloh to rest in between activities, or when he says he's tired, love a school to do that. When he's hurt his legs, to give him a massage, use heat, warm bath. Warm bath? We don't have a warm bath. Does that mean we can now have the bath? Heat pack, Calpol if needed. She's just put down here that he loves his scooter, cycling, climbing, play parks, kicking and throwing a ball, swimming. And they're saying the ABC program daily for 15 to 20 minutes, which I've got. And then supportive shoes. Mum explains Nan was going to get shoes today. And then they've put snow boots rather than wellies. But this has caused a massive big argument between me and my mum, and my mum then saying, well, maybe she can't see the boys and blah 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 blah, you know. And Shoot Kelly in the head all boys today trying to tell me that it's Thursday today just so they can go off in Nanny's adventure car. You know, they absolutely love it to bits. It's cool. I hope they never ever ever feel the way Liam and Daniel did, or never have to understand what Aaron and Faith are going to have to learn. Inner soles in shoes and wearing as in plain emailed sent to mum. And I gave them to my mum and she was like, well, I'm not doing it. And it's like, oh, you know, it's difficult. I appreciate my mum's going to get the wellies. I'm freaking broke. You know, I don't have a penny to piss in until the 18th. Shiloh to wear his inner soles in a pair of house shoes. So it means obviously we do, like, people have a go and say, I've got shoes on and stuff. And it's like, well, we have to, because otherwise, you know, it causes problems on our knees. Yes, darling. We're out of milk today, I'm afraid. Asda, not today. Oh, actually, yes, no, I've used the last token. No, we can't. That's it today, I'm afraid. We got only 4 days to ride, dude. Yeah, you're all right with that? No, because it'll be disgusting. You want just water? Yeah. Not with that. I'm not mixing water with that. It'll be disgusting. Well, finish that and then I'll make some water. No. You want me to empty it? Yeah. Right. Do you know what? Isn't the funny thing? Isn't it funny how we as parents can feel bad, and then we give our kids water and we feel shit. I would feel shit about the Great Britain. We're getting to the point now that, you know, we're like Spain, or make sure that you I always remember when you go to Spain, they used to say take bottled water and not to drink the water. I wonder actually if maybe Spain's the other way around and maybe their water might be better. But I have then had water and then been ill, so. But isn't it funny how we think water is something we should apologise for and say, sorry, we've only just got water. But really, no child should have any other thing on top until they have at least actually made back their own body water in water. Anyway, guys, I'm really not feeling very good. I am at what I call complete burn out from both sides. I've still got to carry on, and obviously I've got this letter in. So basically it has come back. So Mum explains that she hasn't sent the boys to nursery as she would like support in the first place, in place first. But they're saying that I can now take this letter to discuss with them, and if nursery or school would like any information, to call them.
Blue bottle?
With no milk, darling, and I don't know where the blue bottle is, but I know where the other one is. It's just water today. Oh no, water, water of life. Jesus brings us. It's because you get all tired. Mine are just used to milk at bedtime. They don't have milk during the day, they only have milk at bedtime. However, we are going to milk, by the way, and this is all to do with this, because I'm going to prove it, but I believe that the depletion of B12 stops people like us from, yeah, I'm all right, Dan, you all right? From absorbing the natural minerals and nutrients that we need within our bodies, and then these symptoms come out, which is then classed as Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Mummy?
Yes, darling. So,
Mummy?
yes,
Can you put the colour changer?
a colour changer.
I need a lot of colour changer cards.
Well, why don't you just use an orange, a Satsuma, and squeeze it in there, and that will change it. Try it. I'll start it off, and then just squeeze it in there. I can make some proper apple juice for you in a minute anyway. Yes, darling. Yes, I'm all right, sweetheart. I'm going to get some of the veg and make you up some juice that way. But unfortunately for EDS kids, apple juice is not very good for the... And so something our mum was explaining as well.
Mummy, I can't help.
That's it. No, you're going to get your thing. No, not like that. Not like that. Take individual slices out. Yeah, you can do this too.
No, he can't.
Well, there's another one up there for him. So basically... I'm overloaded, guys. I'm going to have to go.